I am not joking when I say this may be the most angry I have ever heard Donald Trump. He is speaking quickly. He is out of breath. He is bouncing around from idea to idea, struggling to latch onto something he can use to attack VP Harris, something that goes against his instincts, which are telling him to just be racist or be sexist. But Donald Trump called into Fox News this morning and was ranting about Lion Kamala. That's his new nickname, but it doesn't quite have a ring to it. And he just sounds incredibly angry. Leave a like on this video if you've never heard him this out of breath. Pay close attention.
Numbers are high. They're higher than they've ever been. People don't like what they're doing. They weaponize it to go after a political opponent. Now, and she was very much in charge, and she was a prosecutor, but she was a failed prosecutor. She put a lot of people in jail that should have never been there. She put people in jail that were political enemies. She's bad news. She's a radical left, not very smart person.
Mr. President,
I have another clip of Donald Trump losing his mind on VP Harris, but Donald Trump was so mad in that clip I just played. He actually deployed the Gish Gallop tactic, which is a debate tactic where you overwhelm your opponent with lie after lie. And what Donald Trump did was spew 8 or 9 lies rapid fire. You could tell he kept having to catch his breath. He kept inhaling really loudly, but everything he said was a lie. So let's go down the list really quickly. He said that Biden and Kamala weaponized the DOJ. That never happened. He was convicted by a jury of his peers. He said that Kamala was a failed prosecutor, which is a total lie. She was incredibly successful as a prosecutor, as a DA, as an attorney general, and as a VP. Now her campaign is equally as successful. Then Donald Trump lied and claimed that Kamala put people in jail who shouldn't have been there, which is not true and is rich coming from Donald Trump, who wants to deport 11 million people, deport immigrants en masse, and jail people who dissent. He then said that she jailed political enemies. Again, that is more projection. Kamala Harris never did that. Then he said she's radical. She's really not. She's no Bernie Sanders or AOC. Not that they're radical, but I'd say they're on the farther left of the spectrum. I'd say Kamala is a center-left progressive. I mean, she's relatively progressive, but she's not far left or radical by any means. He then said she's not very smart, which is demonstrably false. You can just listen to her speak. You can look at her accomplishments. Donald Trump spewed lie after lie, and they're all so easy to debunk, but did you guys also hear some panic in his voice? Let me know in the comments if you heard some panic in his voice. This next clip I really love because Fox News shows Donald Trump, plays a clip for Donald Trump of Kamala shredding him, and Donald Trump really doesn't know how to respond. Watch.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week.
As the attack, what's the retort?
Well, I think it's disgusting, and I get a kick out of one thing. They say, sir, be nice. You just got hit with a bullet. Maybe he's changed. Be nice. And I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage. When you hear that, they've weaponized the justice system against me.
I sometimes struggle to believe that this man has so much political power in America and that he's the official Republican nominee, because he was whining in that last clip I played, and he sounds like he's on the verge of tears in this clip I'm about to play where he's asked about VP Harris. But he called her real garbage in that last clip after lying and saying that he wants to be nice. We know for a fact that he loves being nasty. He loves throwing insults at his political opponents. I mean, hell, this is a man whose claim to fame was coming up with nicknames. Before that, his claim to fame was saying Obama wasn't born in America. That is just a racist conspiracy theory. But he is now calling Kamala Lion Kamala. Honestly, I think Crooked Kamala has a better ring to it. I mean, I don't know why I'm giving them advice. Maybe he can't use the word crooked after saying Crooked Hillary, Crooked Joe, but Crooked Kamala does have a better ring to it than Lion Kamala. But I digress. Watch this next clip of Donald Trump losing his mind when he's asked straight up about Kamala. Watch.
Can America survive a Kamala Harris presidency?
No. And she also wants to defund the police, and she really wants to do it more than any other person. She's the most radical person probably that we've had in office, let alone the office of the presidency. She was a horrible campaigner when she ran. You know, she ran against Biden. And I thought he was terrible, but she was terrible. She was horrible.
Trump's limited vocabulary is really put on display when he's angry and acting like a kindergartner. The only words he knows are horrible, terrible, she's really horrible, she's even more horrible than Joe Biden, she's radical. All of those things are lies. He also said she wants to defund the police. She wants to defund the police more than anybody else wants to defund the police. Number one, who speaks like that? Can you stop speaking like that? But number two, Kamala Harris does not want to defund the police. At most, she wants to redistribute funds so that police get more training. They are held more accountable. They have yearly psychological evaluations. These are things that all Republicans should agree with. I have talked to my Republican friends and said, hey, do you think it would be a worthy investment to make sure police have better psychological evaluations or more frequent psychological evaluations so we know that they're not slowly losing their minds? They say, yeah, that makes total sense. But Donald Trump is now trying to paint this as her being a radical, defund the police, far left person. But we need to make sure that we are pushing back against this narrative, pushing back against the lies, because Lord knows that CNN is not doing it effectively nowadays. So we need to get the message out there. If you hear people talking about Kamala being far left, say, hey, she's pretty center left. Yeah, she passed progressive legislation, but how can she be a far left person who wants to defund the police while simultaneously being somebody who is a prosecutor that threw people in jail? Donald Trump can't even keep his lies straight. Those are just two conflicting stances, that Kamala Harris is so radical. She doesn't want there to be any jails, any police officers, but then again, she loves to just throw people in jail who don't deserve to be in jail. Donald Trump is just an idiot, and he shows it every single day. But VP Harris is currently speaking in Houston, so I'd like to feature a little bit of her speech. We've been talking about Donald Trump the entire time, so here you go.
Including for teachers, but there is more that we must do. President Joe Biden and I promised to sign the PRO Act into law, and I promise you I will keep that promise. Because when workers join together and demand what is fair, everyone is better off. Understand, and I say this everywhere I go, understand, you may not be a union member, but you should thank unions, and I'm looking to the cameras in the back of the room. Not them, but the people who might be watching. You may not be a union member, but thank unions for the 5-day work week. For the 8-hour workday. Thank unions for sick leave and paid family leave and vacation time.
Listen to these far left radical ideas that Donald Trump would call them, far left radical ideas like paid sick leave, like 5-day work weeks or 8-hour work days rather than 16-hour work days. These radical ideas like, hey, maybe 14-year-olds shouldn't be working in mines. So radical.
Because the fact is, unions helped build America's middle class. And when unions are strong, America is strong.
She is absolutely killing it. Leave a like on the video if you agree. Make sure you comment a blue heart or hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.